From the center of the wrestling universe, kicking the Wrestling News Podcast. And hello, wrestling world. It's your boys V
and your boy Ty.
Here today, and it's a sad occasion. We lost a wrestler today that was really intricate in
A pioneer
in the WWE and women's wrestling. We're talking about, of course, Chyna Doll.
If you haven't heard, she passed away yesterday. And the show will be more of a serious look back.
Normally we come with the jokes, try to be entertaining and everything, and there's a time for that. But then there's a time to just get serious and talk about people.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that later in life she made a lot of choices, a lot of decisions
Questionable.
that a lot of people may consider questionable, and she might have taken some career paths in life that people may frown upon. But you know what? What is a mistake? What is a mistake? A mistake is a choice.
It's one of those things that I mean, it happens. None of us is
no one's perfect. And when I say a choice, what is a choice? What is a mistake? A mistake is just a path that we've chosen.
Right.
Now, a mistake can be made, and it doesn't necessarily have to be bad, doesn't have to be good, but mistakes are made because everybody, it's about learning, it's about growing. We all have our demons.
We all do it.
Mistakes, choices.
Right.
And choices are simply paths. Now that path could lead you away or lead you back. It's where you choose to go. So she may have taken some different paths in life.
Right.
But in the end, I saw a human being that just had a lot of pain and demons.
Well, I saw a person that wanted help, but just really didn't know how to ask for help.
Wherever the case may be, I'm not here to harp on her decisions. We're not going to sit there and harp on things she's done later in her career that, you know, people might say she's questionable and people might frown upon. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Chyna Doll, the wrestler, and what she done for the industry and what things she done. I mean, she was a pioneer by every definition of the word. She was a pioneer of the women wrestling, and now to see the resurgence of the women's division. I mean, she was the groundbreaker.
She was the original revolutionary, and the women's division. I says before. I mean, sure, you had your Sables and stuff like that, but you had your Lita, you had your Jacqueline.
Now you say Sable, but I'm sorry. When I think about people who make an impact on the whole little genre of women wrestling, they're talking about women who make an impact.
Oh, there's only probably 5 women. It's just I could put.
Chyna Doll is in the top 3 easy. We're talking about Chyna, and as far as the pioneers go, she did so much groundbreaking. You know, I mean, she was the first woman. A lot of people don't know some facts about her, and we're gonna put up, while you're watching, we're gonna put up a lot of the social media tweets from famous actors and wrestlers that have said something that knew her better than you knew her, better than we knew her. These people knew her personally on a daily level.
That was in the Attitude Era.
And before we go on, I want to send out my heartfelt condolences to the family.
Yes.
And everyone who knew her, all her friends.
This has to be a tough time for you to lose a friend, a co-worker, a person.
And in the end, if you do not agree with the things she done later in life, it doesn't matter. This is somebody's child. This is somebody's sister. This is a person, okay? Let's get past all that trolling bullshit that people like to do. Oh yeah, well she did this, she did that, she said this, she said. Let's get past that. This is a person that has millions of fans around the world.
We'll leave that to the other shows to do that, but this one is about celebrating the life of Joy and Laurel, and I think that means more than all of the, like you said, the rigmarole.
She had a couple of spots on. I used to listen to Loveline with
Really?
Dr. Drew.
How was that?
She'd come on there a lot, and he would comment on her. And I would love to see what he's saying now about her, because she and him really vibe with one another. I think she did a couple of the live action shows with him.
She was on Celebrity Rehab House. I sorry if I mispronounced the name.
It was Celebrity Rehab, and it was with
Celebrity Rehab. Yeah.
And Dr. Drew probed into a lot of her pain, and I think I think he would have a lot to say about about it or whatever. But I was listening to her, and she was just she's just a person. That's what people gotta get away from in life. When you talk about celebrities, we're talking about people. They're just people, and they happen to be on TV, and then TV blows them up bigger.
Larger than life figures.
The TV blows them up larger than life.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking, oh my God, this person is like something from another planet. And for most of us, you never get to meet somebody famous. Most of us will never get to meet certain people. And you think to yourself, they might as well be on another planet, because I'll never meet them. They're not human. Look at all these lights and spectacle. But when you meet them in person, finally, you realize they're just people, just like you. They're just folks.
Yeah, so want to spend time, have dinner with their family,
And folks like you and me are flawed. Everyone's flawed. Everyone has demons and stuff that we deal with on a daily basis. So if her depression, Dr. Drew said that she suffered from a lot of depression. If her depression can help other people who's living with depression, I'm all for it. Because depression is an ugly monster. And I mean, we've lost. I mean, outside of wrestling, we've lost people like Robin Williams to depression. And depression is an ugly thing. And then listening to us now, listen to the sound of my voice. There are people out there who are dealing with depression.
Yeah, you're not alone.
You're not alone. You're not alone. And there's nothing wrong with you. You just need help.
Yeah.
And I think that's what she. That's what she needed. She needed help.
She reconnected with a lot of her WWE family that she had kind of distanced herself away from after leaving.
Well, in a business sense, because a lot of her choices, business-wise, you had to step away from her.
Yeah, you had to.
But for me, she's always been, since she left, a first ballot Hall of Famer.
She has been.
And okay, you got people who are stricken out of the Hall of Fame for questionable, horrible things. But for her case, I still say she should have went in. I still say she should have went in, because if you're saying, oh well, she did an adult movie, so she shouldn't be nowhere near the Hall of Fame, you should say the same thing about X-Pac being on TV, because X-Pac is on TV. WWE done brought him back several times.
Right.
And he was in that same movie with her. So where's that double standard? You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, we'll talk more about her accomplishments. I mean, she was the first. A lot of people don't know these things, but if you do know, if you're in the know, you're a fan. She was, and while you're watching, we're putting up pictures and we'll put up tweets.
Yeah.
Of people who loved her. And knew her.
And without Chyna, there would be no Karma. There would be no Beth Phoenix. There would be no Natty.
Because Chyna took away the whole you have to be sexy. And
exactly.
Not that she was not sexy, but that you had to be ultra feminine.
Yes.
The stereotypical, you gotta have all your boobs out, you gotta be this cutesy thing. No, she was a destroyer.
She's destroyed a lot of people. Mick Foley, Backdrop Mick Foley. they're
powerbombed Eddie Guerrero. She took away that whole cutesy stereotype that women are supposed to uphold in wrestling, and she was just a woman who destroyed guys.
Yes, and it was
powerful.
And if you had Triple H in the ring and Chyna on the outside, that was a double threat.
And a lot of things. And here's some things you may not have known about Chyna. She graduated University of Tampa with a 3.9 GPA and a double. Yes. A lot of people don't know is that she also studied foreign languages, and she could speak fluent Spanish, German, and French.
Wow.
A lot of people didn't know that about her.
I didn't know that. And she was in ROTC, which is another little lesser known fact about her.
It's true.
And in Japan, she wrestled Tajiri, Masahiro Chrono, and most notably the Great Khali. And some, so she she didn't just stop at one thing. She was always
bettering yourself and growing.
exactly, and that's what you have to do in this industry. You can't be stagnant.
A lot of people don't know this, and I'm gonna ask you. Did you know that she was the first woman ever to enter the King of the Ring?
Really?
I know she was the first, but I also know she's gonna probably be the last. I don't see no one else in the current roster, women-wise, going into the man King of the Ring.
No.
So yeah, she was in the King of the Ring. She was in the King of the Ring.
Well, here's something else. Do you know she was one of the first women to enter the Royal Rumble?
I probably knew that and I forgot, but no, I did not know that. I did not know that.
As says the second woman would be Beth Phoenix.
I did not know that. And also, it was Beth Phoenix was in there too.
Really? Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
And Karma was another woman that had been in. But the first groundbreaker, the first trendsetter was Chyna Doll.
Yes.
Chyna Doll was the first one to go in there.
Chyna, for me, Chyna,
Chyna was awesome.
She was awesome.
She was one of the founding members of DX.
Yes.
The famous stable, the infamous stable, DX.
Yeah.
In both incarnations, she was in both of them.
Yes, because she, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Rick Rude and Chyna
was the first.
The founding members.
No, not founding. They brought Rude in for a hot minute, then Rude was out. They were not founding. He was not founding. I would say that it was always Chyna, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. And then, after Shawn got injured, Triple H had to restock and rebuild DX.
Right.
And that's when the New Age Outlaws came in, and that's when X-Pac came in. The new DX, which,
the thing is that Chyna's been emulated,
never duplicated.
That's exactly. And that says, TNA had their own version of Chyna, and then eventually Chyna went over there.
WCW even went out and got that one, Bass.
Yeah.
That one chick with the eyeball closing.
Yeah. I can't remember her name. I says it could be wrong on that, but she was actually one of the first wrestlers that.
She was a groundbreaker.
She was a groundbreaker. I mean, she defeated Chris Jericho at Survivor Series.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that she defeated Chris Jericho. And that's something that AJ Styles had troubles with.
Look at WrestleMania.
Look at WrestleMania. AJ Styles could not take down
that's just
Jericho. Jericho gave AJ Styles a run for money, and Chyna beat him. So that's something.
Yeah, she even beat Jeff Jarrett, the founder.
Well, it's funny you should say Jeff Jarrett, because Jeff Jarrett, she defeated him for the Intercontinental, which leads me to our next point that a lot of people might not have known.
Right.
Chyna was the first woman ever to win the Intercontinental Championship. And I think.
Yeah, and I
know she's the only one.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't think there's no one even on the current roster that even has come close to winning a man's title.
And I think she will be the last. I don't see anybody else pulling that off anytime soon.
No. Maybe,
No, I just not see anybody. Because much like Jacqueline, Chyna was destroying so many women, you got to put her in there with the men and let her destroy them.
Yeah.
And she was destroying the men too.
Chyna was trained by Killer Kowalski,
who also trained Triple H. And I think that's probably where they met at. Maybe, I don't know. But Killer Kowalski trained Triple H as well.
And Damian Sandow and a host of others.
Yes, but that was her trainee, and she debuted at In Your House.
What year?
Well, February 16, 1997, she debuted in Your House.
I remember that.
It was Goldust versus Triple H, and Marlena. No, Marlena.
Because Melina is
the other one. Yeah. It's so close together. Anyway, she was on the outside of on the apron, doing the valet thing, and then Chyna came through the crowd and just choked her out, and no one knew who she was, but she was massive. This is when she was at the peak of her bodybuilding, and she just choked her like she was a rag doll. It was funny.
Here's the thing that you have to understand. Chyna wasn't all show. She was classically trained by Killer Kowalski.
And she was an excellent wrestler.
Yeah, that says this is one of his prized pupils.
Yeah.
That says you look at that, and you look at the fact that what she accomplished, she redefined what a woman's position was. Because like back then, you remember,
She did things that no woman, I think,
No.
in my humble opinion, will ever do again. I mean,
No.
she was a 2-time Intercontinental Champion.
3 times.
2-time Intercontinental Champion.
But of course, Chris Jericho had that one stricken from the record.
Okay, technically 3 times, but for the record, 2 times.
Right.
So, you know what, we'll give it to her. 3 times, 3-time
deserves
Intercontinental, she deserves it. 3-time Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm.
3 times.
And she was ranked in the Pro Wrestling Power 100 rating at 106, which is unheard of for any women
You know
wrestler.
how many people that was under her?
Yeah,
At 106, I mean...
that's how, this is and
PWI.
Yes, Pro Wrestling.
Illustrated.
Yeah.
Is the premier wrestling book, and their rankings, everybody's a rush to get that issue.
They still do.
They still do. And she came in at 106 out of 500
Mm-hmm. And that says
top wrestling stars
period.
everywhere. Everywhere.
Across the world.
She came in at 106. That's something not to shake a stick at.
No.
No,
And it says that's an accomplishment unto so. I don't think there's another woman on there that has that's in that top 500 that's ever held that position in since then.
What great match do you remember, Chyna? What's one of your favorite Chyna matches?
Oh, it would have to be, of course, her first Intercontinental Championship, her against Jeff Jarrett. The match
The house cleaning match?
Yes, because it was such a build-up. It was kind of, it was the classic, a woman's place is in the kitchen. And that's what Jeff Jarrett was kind of, saying, hey, your place is in the kitchen. If you watch, the build up on it is it's on the WWE Network. I'm pretty sure you can also find it on YouTube. The build up for the whole match, was so, it was probably some of WWE's best writing. And the match itself, Jeff Jarrett had all he could take from Chyna. Chyna gave him a 1-4. I guarantee you that the whole match was great. From start to end, the whole match was great. Because it put her in a man's position, a mid-card position. And at that time, which was unheard of, you had your women's matches and stuff like that. Now, Chyna, and a lot of people says, well, if Chyna was such a great women's wrestler, how come she only held the WWE women's title once? Chyna never wanted to be the women's champion. She has said on many interviews, she won the title, then she quickly vacated the title after winning it. Because she thought she was so much more than just a woman wrestler.
It's true.
And you have a person, it's just like this. She knew for a fact that she didn't, want to be just another, woman wrestler. She wanted to be a wrestler. And she went out there night after night, day after day, and she proved and outshined a lot of times different, the male wrestlers.
I agree with that 100%. And only now, that we really appreciate her accomplishments, and that's sad.
And exactly. You're so right. Why should it be that we appreciate the people when they're gone? Because they can't enjoy it. Sure. Next year you put Chyna in the Hall of Fame that says in Orlando, but she's not going to.
She should have been in it, though.
Exactly. And Triple H or Paul has said multiple times, even in his tweets and his messages that he said to the Mirror in the UK is that she is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I said that. I feel that. I still feel that today.
But here's the thing. We can't let politics, and yes, I understand, Triple H and Stephanie both said, well, because some of the stuff, like you said, some of the stuff she did outside the ring was made it questionable because she doesn't want to pull up Chyna, then stuff pops up that shouldn't be on there.
I agree 100%, and it pains me, that we've lost such a talent. I mean, I think it was possible for her to make a WWE comeback. I really do.
Or even train the young girls up in NXT, because I mean, you think of what she could have taught Nia Jax, who's going in that same Chyna mold right there.
Oh yeah, and I mean 100%, and for her accomplishments, in the ring and everything. I saw her recently. I saw a video of her on the Howard Stern show, and she they showed clips of her outside, and she was just hugging and kissing and signing everything people were bringing to her. My personal story is me and my friends, of course, went to go see wrestling live, and it was the time where Stone Cold was feuding with DX, and Stone Cold shocked the world when he hit Chyna with the stunner, and everybody freaked out and everything. So I came up with this sign. I was like, we're going live, and I'm gonna go and get on TV.
Pictures?
I'm gonna get on TV, and I'm going to.
You worked hard on that sign.
I did work hard on that sign. And I said, I'm gonna get on TV, and the sign said, "Hey Chyna, how's your neck?" After getting stunned, but I didn't say after getting stunned. The sign said, "Hey Chyna, how's your neck?" And that would have been gold. I would have got on TV, and I would have had my sign and everything.
But what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. We sat down, and I got this massive, giant hot dog with the chili and the onions and this big sauce. It wasn't even a hot dog. It was a sausage on a bun. It was delicious. Massive. And I was going to tear into that while I watched the Nation Domination talk and everything. And then I was going to hold my sign up when Chyna came out. I was like, And then my friend, I went there with a friend of mine. It was a dear friend of mine back in the day. His name was Big Art. And Big Art didn't have an idea for a sign. And I said, well, go with the classic. When you hear the glass, that's your ass. That's a classic. People love that. Love it. And they were like, yeah. So he did that. The funny thing about this story is that Art got on TV nationally. Yeah. If you look at the archives, there's a man holding up a sign that says, when you hear the glass, that's your ass. The night, I can't think of the night.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
We'll put it down there. Yeah,
because you can go, and that says it. Wow.
And we worked at a toy store, so we had all the posters, all the signs. We made some awesome signs that night. And Big Art put his sign up, and it was in black and silver. And he held the sign up, and if you look at Big Art, you might see us sitting right next to him.
Yeah.
The sign says, "When you hear the glass, that's your ass." I'm gonna put the date up on the screen.
Yeah, because we have to think about that.
I gotta dig up that episode.
And it's you can actually go to. It says if you have the WWE Network, I can't remember the date of the show. You can go by the Raw, and that Raw that was at the Union Arena at the time. It says. In Dallas.
We'll look it up. For you. But at the time, it was the night that The Rock gave Farouk a picture of himself.
Yes.
And when The Rock was in Nation Domination, and The Rock gave Farouk a picture. We're gonna put the date up here.
Yes, we are.
After I do a little more research, but it was that same night. And if you see a gentleman holding up a sign that says, "When you hear the glass, that's your ass." Yeah. It's black and silver. That's Big Art. That's a dear friend of mine. And we made that sign together. And the funny thing was, he got on TV, and while I was eating, I was eating this gigantic hot dog.
Right.
And I put my poster down for a second, but the way those bleachers were made,
at Union Arena, it slid right.
There was nothing solid. It slid. It fell 2 stories down. It slid right through the cracks, and I was just, oh no! And it was like moments before she came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. This the hot dog is so good though. I rebounded quickly.
Yeah, you run very quickly.
I was sad, but the hot dog made me feel better. It helped me with my pain.
It heals.
But anyway, that's one of my most fondest Chyna memories. And to see her after the Howard Stern show, and she would just everybody. I don't care what ratio, what person was. She was kissing everybody on the cheek and hugging everybody and taking pictures and signing everything.
You know what? That's one consistent story that everyone says about Chyna. Chyna has a huge heart. She is caring, sweet, to a fault.
Yeah, it's true. And people tend to take advantage of folks like that. But anyway, the highlight of her career is when she became the #1 contender for the WWE Heavyweight Championship of the world. That has never been done by a woman, and I doubt it will ever happen again.
No. I don't see anyone on the current roster, even in the future, that could do what she did.
She became the #1 contender for the Heavyweight Championship of the world. She lost it later to Mankind.
Right.
But she was in the first woman ever. So when we say ground, but we're not just throwing up words.
No.
She was actually a groundbreaker.
There is websites that show her, what she has accomplished in pro wrestling. And some of those feats will probably never
live on for ages.
Yeah, well beyond beyond her, and
way past you, way past me.
Yeah, you have to look at it like this. The whole thing is monumental in the scope.
You know what I used to like?
What?
I used to like, not to cut you off, but I used to love it, the chemistry her and Eddie have.
Oh, Mamacita.
Yes, and he would always just...
Another person lost too early.
They had great chemistry, and I like to think, I guess we'll close off on this note. I like to think of those two up there. She used to give them that little look, and they really chummed it up and everything.
Yeah, they were good friends. They were good friends, And
I like to think of them up in heaven right now, and him, doing that little, the
Mamacita dance,
the Latino heat dance towards her, and her little Mamacita dance, and she just doing that like little shy girl smile she should do to him on TV. It was great chemistry. It was great.
You know what?
I like to think that they're up in heaven doing that right now.
You know what? It says. It's sad that we have to have shows like this, but they need to be remembered for, what they accomplish. Because like you said, sometimes in wrestling, the lines between truth and reality gets blurred so quickly. And you kind of forget what the person did outside the ring to compare to what the person did, in their inside the ring. So really,
with that,
no, that's just I mean, it pains me. I'm just saying, it just pains me that that
the wrestling world has lost
a champion,
has lost a champion, had lost
a wrestler.
Yes.
We can't say that she was just a woman's wrestler, because she wasn't.
She was not. But she's a good person, and she's a better person. I mean, you wouldn't find one. You wouldn't find her. She's a good person. And whatever you may think, she still, what she did for her industry cannot be undersold.
It cannot. It says she is a pioneer, trailblazer.
In the women's division.
It says just in wrestling in general.
It is true. So,
on that
note,
it says we're going to give her the true wrestling respect, the 12 tolls, and we want to say, rest in peace, Chyna.
We love you. God bless you. God bless the family. God bless all your friends, and that. We have truly lost a pioneer today.
Yeah. So Chyna,
you will be missed.
Yes.
You were loved. You will be missed. And as a fan, I want to thank you
for
all the memories.
And the world has lost a champion.
Chyna Doll, Joanne Marie Laurel dead at the age of 45. This has been the Claw Wrestling Podcast, Dirty Weapon The Claw Wrestling Podcast, in our memorial to Chyna Doll. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Good night.